This is Barry Rapkin. Thank you very, very much for joining me today. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of Identified Technologies, and it is my pleasure to speak with you today about the real cost of owning a commercial drone solution. The agenda we're going to go through is talk a little bit about the basics that everyone should know about drones, talk about how drones are benefiting your specific industry, talk about the real cost of owning a commercial drone solution, then go through a special limited time offer only available for live attendees, and then just open it up for audience Q&A. If you do have any questions at all as we're going through today's presentation, feel free to enter them at any time, and I'll try to address them as we go. If not, we'll definitely hit them during the Q&A. And I was interested to see your poll results, just to share them with you. About 50% we're just looking to learn more about future drone programs more than a year out. 21% are looking to start this year, and a full 30% actually already have some kind of solution in place, but are probably not 100% satisfied because they're here learning about other opportunities. So that's a little bit what we're going to be speaking on today, and I'll be interested to learn more about maybe what some of the limitations that you're finding in your current solutions are and what you would like to have for the future. So with that, turn it loose. So we've had RC planes and helicopters for decades. So the question is, why is there this sudden massive interest in drones that we see today? Well, this was the common RC plane or helicopter user experience. It was a fun toy. You could fly around with it, but it wasn't a tool. They're flimsy, they're not robust, and you can't rely on it. If it gets a gust of wind, it's going to flip. They're made of paper, they're made of cardboard, and you can't do anything useful with it. So the question then is, what changed? Why is there this sudden, massive interest in drones that we see today? Well, it's really a combination of government and private sector innovation. We have flight controllers from NASA, miniaturized GPS, originally developed by the US Navy, miniaturized sensors like accelerometers and gyroscopes that many of us have in our smartphones, digital cameras, and all combined with advances in battery life and model aircraft that make modern autonomous drones possible. Now with that, a lot of people ask, well, great, what's the right drone for me? And even if you understand that drones are the future, that they have amazing capabilities, there's no one drone that's perfect for every application. The range of drones goes from about $100 million from a Global Hawk from Northrop Grumman that weighs 32,000 pounds and can fly at almost 400 miles an hour, to a Phantom Vision 2 from DJI, which is a perfect tool for just over $1,000 to snap some photos, capture a little video. For a hobbyist, you're not going to do better. So it's not about getting the most expensive drone. It's not about getting a universal drone. Drones are very, very specialized. So it's all about finding the right drone for your specific needs. We're already seeing first applications in drones used for real estate, for sports, movies and TV commercials. In all those cases, anything where you just want to get that sensor in the air to capture a particular perspective. And historically, this could only be done by actually getting a helicopter, a plane, getting a camera crew out there, getting a pilot, getting jet fuel. And it was incredibly expensive and inefficient. And now you can just send out the drone with a camera on it, capture the exact same angle, the exact same data, but much, much, much more affordably. And you're seeing experiments now with Amazon, Flirty in Australia, and a few other companies to actually do drone delivery. So for light packages, not necessarily refrigerators and desks, but for DVDs, for books, actually having direct autonomous delivery from drones. And in terms of how drones are benefiting your specific industry, we're seeing applications across a broad array. In mining, they're particularly used for stockpile management, for mine planning and tracking on earth moving projects. In construction, again, a lot of earth moving, highway, pavement laying. It lets you actually track your real cost per unit, so how much it's really costing you to move an acre or to lay pavement, and to optimize that over time. It lets you see what your team is and your contractors are really doing, not just what they say they're doing. It lets you get paid more quickly, because instead of waiting a month for your survey team to get the data back and then sending that out, when at that point the data is a month old, to get paid on it now, you can map that morning, have your numbers that afternoon, send that to the client, and get paid for the actual work you've done, not the work you did a month ago. In energy, they're being used for pipeline tracking, well pads, impoundment ponds, anything with regulatory issues, like making sure right-of-ways are clear, all the things that historically had to be done by hand, by people. Now we're able to do it more quickly, more safely, and more efficiently. For agriculture, it can be used to very quickly see what areas need more water, more fertilizer, more pesticide, with overhead views. For landfills, to optimize and make sure that you are maximizing your cell and that you've filled it absolutely to the top without exceeding it for regulatory issues. And instead of having to pay 15 or 20 grand per aerial flight for a traditional aerial survey from a plane or helicopter, now you can do it for virtually free, just checking as often as you want with drones. And also to maximize density. And then for mapping, surveying, engineering, it's more of, it empowers those groups to do the same work they're doing, but do it faster, do it more efficiently. We've had direct testimonials from engineering and surveying clients saying, I'm able to get 300% more productivity. It would have taken me and my team 3 full days to cover this many projects. We're able to do it in an afternoon using mapping drones. Just because of that speed, because instead of taking maybe a month to survey a 100-acre job site, now you're taking maybe 10 minutes and a couple hours to get the data automatically processed and sent back to you. So it's all about confidence, it's about capability, it's about performance, it's about safety. So that brings us to the real problems that drones are solving. Most projects do run late or over budget. And that's because every day, project managers are asked to do the impossible. They go to war with a mountain of paperwork. They're trying to communicate with their contractors, leadership, customers, while having visibility to every change on every massive job site all simultaneously. And it's an impossible job. If I have any project managers on the webinar with me, you know this is life. You can't be 3 places at once, and sometimes something has to give. And I've been on some of these sites where they're maybe 1,000 acres wide. You can't even see from one end to the other. And they're still largely tracked the same way today that they were 20 years ago. Construction done off of rolled up paper blueprints. Managers walk the site with clipboards, taking notes and pictures. And all the stakeholders have to actually physically visit the job site to check progress. And aerial overhead data is only rarely captured because of the generally large costs and large delays. And this leads to a few different problems. It's impossible, no matter how good you are, to make fast, informed decisions without consistent site visibility. That leads to inefficiency, because expensive contractors and rental equipment often go unused due to bottlenecks that could have been prevented with better information. It leads to project delays, because while you're waiting for customers to get out to the site to approve portions of work and release funds for the next section, that's hurting your cash flow, it's hurting your performance, and if you have that money up front, everything goes smoother. It can lead to low profits, because when projects go over budget, that usually directly comes out of the construction company's profit or the industrial company's profits. And it can lead to lost customers, because if customers were promised something at a certain time, done a certain way, they may experience disappointment. They may not use you again. They may stop mid-project, or in some case, they may even file lawsuits for damages. So how do drones help solve this? They provide job site visibility that's accurate, it's automatic, it's near real time. Instead of waiting months, you're able to map 100-acre job site in minutes, and it's completely secure. So who are we? What's Identified Technologies? We offer a fully managed commercial drone solution that improves job site transparency and profitability. We let you automatically track and optimize your progress and your performance. We're trusted by industrial leaders in energy, excavation, mining, and engineering. We're proud to serve many of the ENR 400. They choose us because outdated methods are slow, they're inaccurate, they're dangerous, and they're costly. And we offer world's only automatic EDAS, that's end-to-end drone as a service solution. And we're proudly headquartered in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, serving clients around the world. And when I talk about EDAS, what that means is there's a lot of companies out there that'll sell you a drone. There's processing companies that'll help with your data. There are flight planning tools out there, and there's analytics tools. But there's nothing that pulls it all together. So our EDAS system includes mapping drone, flight IQ planning, software and hardware, Site IQ, which is our analytics online portal, processing tools, and they all seamlessly were built together and interact perfectly together from end to end. We're proud to serve clients like Kokosing, Seneca Resources, PJ Dick, Mascaro Construction, Americoal, and EQT, and very recently we just brought on Carmeuse, Casella, Vulcan Materials in mining, and we're really proud to be serving clients across industries, from mining and excavation to landfills and engineering. And we've been featured by TEDx, Inc., CNN, South by Southwest, TechCrunch, NBC. And if you look this week, we just got a nice write-up in Construction Business Owner magazine and recently in Construction Executive. And if anyone's actually going to be at ConAg Expo in LA, we're going to be out there March 7th. And if I have anyone in mining listening, then we're going to be at SME this coming weekend, starting on the 19th. So I'd love it if you can swing by our booth. Maybe we can buy you a drink after the show and learn more about your needs. So what do you get working with us? Well, we automate advanced mapping and tracking. So you can get 3D volumetric analysis on things like stockpiles for mining or earth moving projects, know exactly how much earth not only you have today, but where where you were at yesterday, the week before, what your rate of progress is, what your real costs are, and how to optimize it. We offer contour mapping, orthomosaic overlays, as-built versus as-planned overlays, so you can confirm that construction is going exactly the way that the engineers and the designers originally intended. We also let you monitor progress reports and cut and fill tracking. You can download CSV files to show progress, do heat maps for earth moving. You can see what your trends have been, progress over time, to make sure you're going to finish on time and on budget, and securely share your data and export in all major file formats if you want to either back it up or do any post-processing in your own software. We try to make it as intuitive as possible and let you do everything within our tool, and we're expanding it out every single day, but you always have that option if you have something specific in mind. So how are we different than alternatives? Well, traditionally, there have been a few different ways to capture mapping data for job sites. You can do an aerial survey with a plane or a helicopter. It's pretty fast once you get them out to the site. It may only be a few hours, but usually there's a long lead time, maybe 3 to 4 weeks. It's pretty normal. And then it takes a while to process the data. So you're looking at something like 2 to 3 months and around 15 grand every time you want a standard aerial survey. For a manned survey team, there's much less lead time. More firms offer it. It might only take a week to get out there, but because they're actually on the ground navigating potentially difficult terrain, it can take about 4 weeks to have a two-person team, $1,000 a day, doing a 100-acre job site. And $1,000 a day, 20 work days in a month, looking at about 20 grand for a manned survey team. And between the time it takes to gather the data and process the data, still looking at just under 2 months. And by the time you get that data back, if it's a fast-moving job site, that data is 2 months old, and it no longer represents where the job site is today. That data is wrong. So what we offer is a subscription drone service. You can update as often as you want to. You could do it monthly, weekly, daily, hourly. You get unlimited updates with a low-cost monthly subscription, so you update as much as you want. And to do a 100-acre job site, instead of taking months, it takes about 10 minutes, and the data is processed in a few hours. So you fly that morning, you have your data later that day. And that brings us to, what are the real costs of owning a commercial drone solution? Because there is, of course, another option. You can use traditional aerial surveys, you can use manned survey teams, you can use a end-to-end drone-as-a-service solution, or you can build your own system. And it's important to understand what the different costs and processes associated with building your own system in-house are. So you're going to want to take care of FAA regulation. You'll need to make sure you have 107 exemptions. If you want to do anything special like night flights or out of line of sight work, you have to get special clearance from that. Make sure you're not flying near an airport or any controlled areas. Report all your flights. You're going to need to hire, train, and do logistics for drone pilots. You're going to need to find software to do flight planning, drone control. You're going to need the actual hardware itself for the drone, software and hardware for processing the data, and then a solution for analyzing the data and storing and managing the data. A lot of these files might be 5 gigs or 10 gigs for high quality job sites. And obviously you don't want to just email that to somebody. and ideally you want something that multiple people can share and interact with to kind of speed up communication. They say a picture says 1,000 words, and you can save a lot of emails, a lot of phone calls and back and forth if everyone can be looking at the job site together. You have to take on the risk of the drone or get insurance for it. If it crashes, even if no one's injured, it can easily be $50,000 to replace a high-quality mapping drone. And these are the actual costs and steps associated with it. And then there's the time to market issue of, do you want to have a drone solution up after 2 years of work and research and hiring, or do you want to have a drone solution up in 2 weeks? That's kind of a decision that you need to make as a company, how much your time is worth and how much it's costing you not having this information. But those are all things that you'll want to sort of keep in mind as you consider it. There's an infographic I want to share with you that helps kind of convey what some of these costs are of UAV ownership. So if you give me just one moment, I'm going to share that with all of you. Okay, perfect. So if you go to handouts now, you should see Identify Technologies infographics. You're welcome to take a look at that at your convenience, but I'll just talk through it briefly. So the actual purchase of a drone is actually the easiest part. You can get a high-quality drone from $1,000 to $50,000. To sort of find the right one that you want to use usually takes a couple months. And that can range from basically a toy drone to a prosumer drone to a really robust commercial drone and everything in between. For the legal requirements, you're probably going to want to work with a law firm that specializes in FAA regulation. Usually you're looking at around 40 to 150K, 6 to 12 months, and you'll need everything for the FAA to be compliant. So that's maintenance logs, training manuals, and number registration, daily flight logs, maintenance, and more. And then the biggest challenge is really the processing, the analytics, and the data storage. Um, and having a scalable solution where, if you're just one small company, you may be able to do it all in-house with a couple servers and a few technicians, but it gets harder and harder as you spread out over more and more job sites. It takes more and more time. So our goal is just to have a nice wrapped up end-to-end solution that you can put it all together. It's not taking you 13 to 27 months. It's not taking you $500,000. And it's because it's a SaaS-based solution, you only pay as long as you're happy. If you don't like it and you're not getting good value, you can stop, and you're not tied in with some huge CapEx up front before you get anything from it. So the standard drone mapping process, you'll get your KML with your map perimeter, and a KML is basically the location that you want to map. You'll lay your ground control points, you'll create and upload your flight plan, the drone will fly, you'll geotag the data, transfer the data, process the data, store and manage the data, and then finally analyze and collaborate. That's what it looks like with a standard kind of DIY drone solution. And what's different about Identified Technologies is we've tried to automate as many steps as possible. So now you just choose your flight plan, you activate the drone. We like to say we do everything for you, but turn the drone on. So just push the button, the drone will fly itself, capturing all the data. The data is automatically processed, and then you can access and analyze your job site. And in terms of the onboarding process, it starts out with an initial conversation and setup. We want to learn what your concerns are, what your goals are, what your success metrics are to make sure you're getting everything you want out of your drone solution. We'll collect any necessary information such as insurance and who the key users are going to be and the stakeholders. And then as you get up to speed and get ready to receive your data, we're preparing everything on the back end for a successful implementation. You will also have a dedicated customer success manager and our VP of Aviation, John Little, with over 2 decades of experience, really completely on hand just to make sure that you have a great experience. We're in a quickly evolving industry, and one thing I actually left out in the chart is technical obsolescence. You don't want to get a solution that you invested $50,000 or $500,000 into that in 2 years, because things are moving so quickly, is obsolete and useless. And one of the nice things about Identified Technologies is we actually are constantly updating our system to stay on the cutting edge. And not only are we updating our software literally every day, we have a dedicated team, mostly of Carnegie Mellon roboticists and engineers just dedicated to that, but we're also always rolling up to the latest and greatest drone. And part of the package is every year we'll update you to a brand new one. So with that, we're here to provide support throughout the process, not only from things like webinars, but also training guides, one-on-one coaching, best practices, workshops, screen shares, whatever you need to have, again, a great experience. We also have a dedicated website that has full resources built out for 107 certification, drone, site IQ. So not only are we talking you through it, but it's always there as a resource as well. And after you're up to speed, we actually do quarterly check-ins. We'll meet more frequently initially, but after that, just to make sure you're always getting the full value out of drone mapping, that you're aware of our latest and greatest tech releases, and that we're learning about new challenges or opportunities or requests that you have, and that we can relay that to our product team and incorporate it in our offerings. We also do 107 certification and onboarding. So you have ownership of the drone, you have control of the drone, it's on your job site, but we still need, most of our customers still want to be the one to actually be able to control it and use the drone. So for that, you have to get a 107 certification from the FAA. It's a pretty straightforward multiple choice test. You go to a local testing center. It's 2 hours. You have to get, I believe, a 48 of the 60 questions right. And we have full training materials, practice tests, exactly what you need to pass with flying colors. We're proud to say we have a 100% pass rate for every client we've worked with and coached. And what that helps do is minimize the time that you're spent training, minimize the delay until drone mapping can begin, minimize training costs and operational mistakes and failed exams, and it maximizes safe drone operations, confidence, high test scores, and just makes life easy. So just to wrap up, what is the true value of drone mapping? It helps you win more bids, track and increase profitability and performance, improve quality assurance, and improve client satisfaction and retention. And if you're not in a construction role, maybe you're more, let's say, mining or energy, where it's more internal, then there it's more of a team satisfaction, team cohesion, and team efficiency. So with that, I want to thank you and offer you a free month or an opportunity to win a free month of drone mapping. I'm going to send a link out right now in the chat. And if you're interested, you can take a few minutes, tell us just a little bit more about who you are, what your interest in drones are, and you'll win an opportunity for a free month of drone mapping. Our most recent winner of the contest, I believe, was GAI Consulting, and I know they're doing great with it. And it's a good way to have a risk-free test of the technology and see if you're interested. Another way to kind of learn more about drone mapping technology and see if it's for you is get a free demo. So feel free. I just put a link to sign up, and again, just give us a little more information. One of our drone experts will reach out to you and just sit down for maybe 15, 20 minutes, show you exactly what our technology does. You can take it for a spin yourself, regardless of industry, and see if you think it would fit in well to your operations and make your life easier. And if it's not a good fit, well, they'll be able to point you in the right direction for what you are looking for. So with that, I just want to turn it over for Q&A. I thought, again, it was really interesting. A lot of the people here are looking to drones for the future, but a lot actually already have current drone solutions and are now exploring other options. So there's definitely something that you're not getting from your current solution. I'd love to learn more about it, see if we can help, and if we can't, hopefully direct you towards something that will solve your problems. So we've already got a couple of great questions coming through. Clay asked, after a flight, how's the info shared with the client? Can they access the info or files from a portal on our business website? So we'll give you a direct link, and if you want to host that link on your site, you absolutely can. SiteIQ, though, is a central hub. You'll have access to it. You'll be able to securely share it with others. You'll basically just enter their email, and they'll be a user, and then you can at any time email out a link to any job site data that you want to share with your leads. So if you want to host that link on your business website, you're welcome to, but you can also just securely do it right from an email, and they'll be able to jump right onto SiteIQ. Robert asked, can we do infrared photography? So the answer is yes and no. We can do it. The issue, though, is in general, the FAA has not fully authorized night flight yet. So we can get special exceptions, but in terms of a daily use thing, because you'd really want to fly at night to be able to see heat leaks with infrared photography, that's probably still a good 6 months out. Can't put an exact date on it, but we're kind of waiting for the regulations to come through. In terms of pricing and terms, it really depends how many job sites you have, how large the job sites are, exactly what kind of data you need. So that's just something that you probably have to speak to one of our drone experts about. But if you give them, again, just a few minutes of your time so they can learn more about the challenges you're trying to solve in your exact applications, they'll be able to tell you exactly what the pricing will be in terms. It'll certainly be consistent with or much less than what you're paying today for surveying. Clay asked, do clients require specific software to view gathered data? No, which is what we're so happy about. Worked really, really hard on. So the idea is that, yeah, you don't have to master all these different tools and AutoCAD and 3D analytics. You just push the button on the drone. It gathers the data, it processes the data. You sit down on your computer, you log into your SiteIQ account, and all the data is right there, and all the analytics are right there. If you want to see contour lines, you just click the contour button. If you want to track specific volumetrics on a stockpile or regions, you would just click around that area, and it's automatically calculated. So we've worked really, really hard, and we're really proud of how intuitive it is and how inclusive it is to just get all the data right there. There's a question, can clients print plan sheets from the data? You can certainly print from SiteIQ, and you can export 3D models, and I think the roundabout answer is I'm pretty sure they can, but I don't know that anyone's ever asked us before if they could specifically print plan sheets. So probably, and to get a definitive answer, I would say just jump on a demo or a contact us forum. They can give you a definitive answer. Or Clay, if you want, I can ask our tech team right after this meeting, and I can follow up with you in an email. But I mean, these are great questions, so keep them coming. I don't want to misrepresent us, so I'd say very likely, but I don't want to give 100%. So what I'd love to know, for the pretty high percentage of people that are joining today that said, hey, they love, they're interested in drone mapping, they're using drone mapping, but even though they have a current solution, they're still here. I want to know, what don't you like about your current solution? What are you trying to achieve that it's not giving you? What problem is the current solution not solving? And what that information does is it helps us know what we can improve and what we can offer to help you. Ah, okay. So great feedback from Jeremy. Our current solution has plus or minus 4-inch accuracy. It's not tight enough. So we can actually get down to sub-centimeter accuracy. And some of that is flying low and slow. And a lot of it is just our technology and the whole system we use. But it's really comparable to LiDAR, which is the best you're going to get. In terms of what new or updated technology is coming out soon, it's from Clay. You're making me nervous to announce it because we wanted to hold off till ConAg. But just between us, as long as you guys promise not to tell anybody, just because we're friends, we have some really, really exciting stuff rolling out, mostly this quarter and early next quarter. Some of it involves excavation performance tracking down to a very micro level of precision. Some of it involves kind of eliminating the potential need for GCPs in the future. Some is change detection tracking. But we have some really exciting stuff. I can't say more than that, or the tech team will kill me. But it's going to be a huge 3 months. And please, again, if you're going to be at ConAg Expo, please roll by our table. We'll be in the tech experience and at the in the Gold Room. We would love to talk to you, meet you in person, learn more about your business and your opportunities, and give you a little peek behind the curtain, because that's where we're going to be doing the official announce. And so Jeffrey asked, what he said he's looking for is really an automated process to compare data and terrain following. So I don't want to say more than that, Jeffrey, but you're in the right place. And I would love it if you'd sign up for a demo so you can see our real customer data. the real workflow, and see if that's what you're after. So I love these questions coming in. Really, really active audience, which I appreciate, and I love the engagement. I want to be sensitive to. Oh, okay. Sorry, Clay had another question. Do I need a drone for a demo? Not at all. So for our system, what the demo would be is you just sit down for a few minutes. Um, they learn just enough about you to that we can share sort of existing reports and data that will be applicable to you. Maybe it's mining, maybe it's excavation, maybe it's landfill or engineering. But we can show you job sites just like the ones that you work on, and you'll be able to see the exact process and the exact kind of data and analytics that you'd be receiving. So you don't need a drone yourself, and part of the deal working with us is we'll actually give you a drone um, and keep updating that drone again to keep it current, and so you're never obsolete. So you don't need a drone at all for the demo. You don't need anything but a computer and a few minutes and a curious mind. Um, I again would invite you guys to please, please, please do consider signing up for a demo. Um, I I love drones and I love what we're doing, but the real sort of champions of our company are our drone experts. They know much more than I do, and if you have any other questions, I know they'll be happy to answer them. And I want to thank you all for your great questions and being so engaged. If you have anything else, I'd love to answer it at this time. If not, I want to let you get back to your day because I know the reason you're here is you're busy and you're trying to find better, more efficient ways to do your work. Oh, okay. Clay asked, is it possible to get a backup drone in case the subscribe one breaks down? So, great question. As part of our deal, if a drone breaks through no fault of the user, then they're automatically overnighted one or express mailed one for free that they should get the next day because we don't want to slow down your business just because of tech issues. So it just doesn't start one morning or it's not accurate or anything like that. No stress, no argument, just you get a brand new one the next day. If, let's say, and this actually happened, one of the users takes the drone, uses it to go like snap some photos at the family barbecue, and then accidentally flies it into a tree and crashes it, then you have to pay for the new drone. But I think that's pretty fair, and as long as it's sort of used responsibly and reasonably, it's never going to be a problem. Either way, we'll get you a new one ASAP. Either way, we won't slow down your business, but please, please, please don't use it to capture your family barbecues. You can do that with like a really cheap consumer drone. Don't use a sophisticated commercial mapping solution. That is my only request. But no matter what, we will get you a backup drone and get it immediately. If you have multiple job sites, in many cases, we'll give multiple drones. We have some clients using 7 drones, 10 drones with our system. So if you're interested in multiple drones right out of the gate, not a problem at all. We'll absolutely accommodate that. It'll just be built right into the contract. I've gotten a lot of good questions. So Jeffrey, Clay, Robert, Jeremy. I love the interest and the curiosity. I don't want to leave anyone hanging. Is there any final questions before we wrap? Okay, then I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. I've genuinely enjoyed speaking with you. Excellent questions, and I hope that we can learn more about you and see if it's a fit. And again, even if we're not the right solution for you, our team would love to learn more about you and definitely point you in the right direction. So please do take a minute, go to Identify Technologies, and just go to the demo tab so we can learn more. Otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you for your interest, and have a great February and stay warm.